You were there when Bruiser Brody got killed.
Yes.
What happened?
Brody was, and he was like me, we were just making shots at the time. I would be in, and he'd be in, and we were both there at the same time, and they had this big show, and they would bring you in for like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday shot, and you would leave on Mondays. And I don't know what happened. There was heat between the invader and him, from what I heard. I'd never heard anything previously that they had heat. And I remember I rode to the show that night with Tony Atlas and Brody. We went in. And I've written an article. It's on the internet if you want to look for it somewhere. I don't even know where it is now. But I could always feel, guys who are survivalists, I think you have the same feeling. You can walk into a room and you can feel tension.
Right.
You can feel it. And I felt tension that night when I walked in there, but I couldn't pinpoint it. But it was a very uncomfortable feeling, a very awkward feeling. And I sat down, and this was about 7 o'clock, 7:30 maybe. The feeling became kind of overbearing. I said, I got to get out of here.
Really?
Yes. So I got up and walked, and I remember walking in, I had to walk by the invader, Carlos, and Joe Vica, who owned the company. And they were sitting there, and I don't know what was going on with them. They just didn't, I can't pinpoint anything. But I walked out to the dugout just to see who was coming in, because I didn't want to be in that closed up environment.
Right.
And I bet I was out there 5 minutes maybe, and when I walked back in, it had already happened.
Oh.
Because I heard that the invader got up, and I've written this, and there's nothing that's a secret, and he asked Brody, can I see you in the shower? And they walked into the shower. What happened in the shower? What happened? And they said he staggered out, he was cut, and he went down. It was chaos in there. And the invader left. He took off. He left the building. And Brody laid there for like a long time.
Right.
And he was hemorrhaging. And it took the ambulance a long time to get there, because that's the infrastructure of Puerto Rico.
Right.
They weren't built for the cars. And the place was jam-packed. You couldn't move.
Everybody's trying to get in the building.
Everybody trying to get in. And they finally, I think, somebody called the radio station and told them to put out a call for the nearest ambulance crew to go to the stadium. And the ambulance crew heard it. They was out of McDonald's, or they was out of Hardee's or something.
Right.
And they came over there.
Right.
And it took them a long time to get him out. And I remember after it happened, I went back to the hotel that night.
But y'all worked the show then?
Worked the show.
Okay.
Yeah. Worked the show.
Damn, the show must go on.
Yeah. And we didn't know what had happened to him. But when I left...
So at that point, you didn't know whether he was going to make it or not, but he was probably alive when they took him out?
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to die.
Right.
I didn't think that.
Right.
But I knew it was pretty serious.
Yeah.
Because I had a doctor tell me that, it was serious because he was bleeding internally.
Yeah.
And they took him to the hospital, and after I left the building that night, it's called Centro Medico, which is like medical center, and I went over there, and I went into the emergency room, and a guy was walking out, and I said, hey, do you know anything about the wrestler they brought here? And he said, oh, yeah, are you with him? I said, yeah. He said, well, I'm the surgeon who saw him. I said, how's he doing? And he just like, well, it's touch and go. And that was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I went back to the hotel, and I remember I got up that morning at the hotel. Beautiful morning in Puerto Rico. Beautiful morning. And I asked the receptionist, could she call the hospital and check on him? And she called, and she started crying. And she said, I hate to tell you this, but your friend, he didn't make it. So,
damn.
It was strange that would happen, because, you think of a dressing room as a sanctuary.
Right.
But it wasn't. And then later on, they had a trial, and they had all this. And everybody knows how it ended. So.
Yeah, man, weird deal. I just wanted to cover that because I know you spent a lot of time down there. And I of course, was a big Bruiser Brody fan.
Mm-hmm.
I just loved the way the guy took care of business in the ring and his promos and all that. So from a big fan standpoint. And, of course, my old travel partner was Mr. USA Tony Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
But we never really talked about the Brody incident. But he said he was holding on to Brody there for a while.
Tony Atlas was one who actually, Brody was a big guy.
Yes.
He was 300 pounds, 290. And the Puerto Rican paramedics, they couldn't carry him.
Yeah.
Because the legs fold out.
Yeah.
They had to go up some steps. They couldn't do that. So they had to actually carry him. And I remember Atlas actually carried the back end. Had 2 guys or 3 guys on the front. They picked up the front. He picked up the back, and they got him to the ambulance.
God dang.
Sad story. Sad story.
A bad story.